in our relationships, we're going to have differences of opinion. Like, no matter what, there's going to be some subject matter that we disagree on. And this can create a lot of problem in relationships if we're not careful. So we're going to talk about that in this video. I'm Stacy Rockline, and I'm on a mission to eradicate loneliness. So I'm always looking for ways we disconnect in our relationships, and differences of opinion are a big one. Right now, as I record this in the United States, we are in a challenging point in our history where there is a lot of divided energy, where differences of opinion have become like a defining thing, not just a point of conversation or one little part of a relationship, but something that divides relationships entirely, divides families. I mean, it's creating a very difficult environment for connection. And we have to have ways to have differences of opinion without getting so disconnected. What happens is, I'm with my group, right? And we have strong feelings about this, and we unite around these strong feelings, and we connect about this. But every time a group does that, they other another group. They're like, if we're like this and you're not like us, then you're over here. It's an automatic disconnection. It's a separation that happens. And the stakes feel really high for both groups. So people are escalating emotionally, and there is fury and outrage and hatred, and like those are intense emotions, and they can really destroy relationships when they are put against another person. If I hate someone, we are never going to be able to connect, right? Anyway, I've been thinking about this a lot because I too have strong feelings, and I too feel enraged sometimes and furious. And when I feel that way, I tend to put everyone else who doesn't agree with me over there in that bucket, the others, them. And I am still going to have to fight the fight, right? Do the good work. Things that I believe in, causes that I believe in, things I want to vote for or vote against or whatever. I'm still going to do those things, but I can do them either filled with rage, filled with hatred, or I can just do them. Like, the end action is the same. The end action is that we're all going to have to do our work to try to get the outcome that we want. If I want this, I'm going to have to take these steps. If that person wants this, they're going to have to take those steps. We can take them without the motivation of anger and fury and hatred. And we forget that because we get so intensely behind our causes, our beliefs, our perspectives. We forget that we can actually just go forward and do all the same things without that in our heart. The thing is I want to remain a generous-hearted person, and I am not perfect. This is like work, practice all the time to see something arise in myself that I'm like, oh, that doesn't make me feel like who I want to be, and to address it. But so many of us don't do that. We other the other person, and we do it in our just partnerships, right? Where they have a difference of opinion, and we're like, that's not correct. My way is the right way. And then we just have a disconnect. We create a wall. And then if we tell ourselves a story, we can start to be like, dude, they are so wrong. They're so selfish. They're so stupid. They're so whatever. And at the end of the day, how do all of those feelings that we build in ourselves benefit the action that we have to take anyway? They create separation. The narrative that we tell about the other person makes us separate even further from them. And we are now filled chemically with emotions that aren't necessarily good for our physical health, our well-being. They're definitely not good for us ever getting on the same page in the same place to try to solve problems or at least even understand each other. So I guess the reason I'm bringing this up is because it's so common. Like, I can give you an example that's just happening right now in a country, but it happens every day in all of our relationships where we hit a point that we have a disagreement about something. We have two different perspectives. And I think we have at that point a choice. And the choice is to let an emotion arise that's going to be a disconnecting emotion and then take an action to get the outcome we want, or address that. You maybe can't help it. I mean, I find myself pissed off and I'm like, I can't avoid the pissed off, but I can address the pissed off. I can be like, what is this? If I have hatred and anger and fury and I'm pissed off, I'm telling myself a judgment story. And at the end of the day, I just still have to take the steps toward the outcome I want. So in our day-to-day lives, if we strengthen this, I think we can get better at doing it like out in society at large. And it's really beneficial for us to see some of these emotions arise about the other person and their difference of opinion, and look at them, address them, ask myself, what am I judging? How am I attaching that person's selfish to their opinion? I can work on that. That's like my side of the street, to work on what I'm telling myself that's creating this emotion of separation. And at the end of the day, I don't have to give up my perspective. I don't have to give up my causes. I don't have to give up like steps toward the outcome I want, but I can do it with love of humankind. I can do it with a generosity in my heart. I can do it without creating the feeling of separation from people. I mean, at the end of the day, I really believe that we are all connected. We are all humans on this planet, and we're always going to have differences of opinions, and that's going to create friction and conflict and contrast, and that's just a part of this experience. But the more we choose love and generosity in the process of dealing with that, the better off we will all be. If you want to work on emotional intelligence, you can grab the Feel Wheel at the link I'm going to leave, where you can take a look at that wheel. I don't know where it's at around here. I'll say grab it and show you, and start naming your emotions when they arise. That's what the first step to understanding your emotional experience. And so a great thing I do after that is when I'm like, oh, I am furious. What story am I telling myself that is creating my feeling of fury? What do I want to do about that story? And so maybe the Feel Wheel will help you with that process too. Okay, I wish you peace and connection in all of your relationships and your life and your community, and I will see you next time.